Hello, 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 and welcome. This is Mr. Lone with Reading is Fantastical. Hopefully, you guys are having a great day because it's a wonderful day here because we have the next book review for you. So, welcome to the next episode once again of Reading is Fantastical. Thank you for being here. Now, this next book is based on a true story from a long time ago, and it involves the writing of the Declaration of Independence. Okay, you may have heard that recently. It's big time in the news. It's what we've been talking about. Okay, are you curious as to how it was printed? Hmm? And who printed it? Well, we are going to find out. I have the book right here that goes through that process. So let's go to the next page. All right, so let me give me a quick second here and go to the beginning here. Next page. Ah, there it is. Revolutionary Mary. The true story of one woman, the Declaration of Independence, and America's fight for freedom. Okay, so we're going to take a little bit of a different angle. Okay, a little bit of a different angle. Once again, we have the book right here. So we're going to go through it together. All right? All right, let's go to the next page. All right, so that person is once again Mary Katharine Goddard. Now, when America began to fight for independence from the British, okay, let me go to that page so I can read that a little bit closer to you guys here. Ah, there we go. From the British, our most influential weapons were words and information. But who was printing the important news for the colonists? One of those brave people was Mary Katharine Goddard, who risked her life for freedom. If she got caught, she would be punished for treason. In 1776, Mary was asked to print a game changing document marking a turning point for the American Revolution. Mary then made her own mark on history, becoming the only woman whose name is on the legendary Declaration of Independence. That was Mary. All right, let's go to the next page. Okay, so we have the inside cover here, and we're looking at it, and we want to make sure to mention the author and the illustrator. So we have co-authors here, written by Karen Blumenthal and Jen McCartney. And the illustration was done by Elizabeth Baddeley. Baddeley. I apologize if I got that wrong, but Baddeley. Let's go with that. Baddeley. All right. And of course, list information about the publishers at the bottom. All right. Let's go to the next page. Ooh, okay. Speaking of that, here's the copyright information. Okay. Published by Roaring Brook Press. Okay. And it goes on more information about where they're located, the author's information, illustrator information. You know, it's all good, important information. Of course, a location, the email where you can write to the publishers and let them know how much you enjoyed this history and that you didn't know that. Well, I guess it's something that you really don't necessarily think about every day. Well, who wrote it? Declaration of Independence, and that was written by a female. How about that? Okay, especially back in those days. Wow. Okay, let's go ahead and turn the page. Okay, so you ready to get to the story? Are you sitting comfortably? Are you relaxed? Do you have reading ears on? Are you being quiet? Are you keeping your hands to yourself? Okay, let's go. All right, so look at the first page here. Wow, look at that. So what does this look like? We have all kinds of important people that are on here on the page here. And we'll get to them here in just a little bit. But let's find out the writing that's on this page. Okay, no women were in the room when our founding fathers drafted the Declaration of Independence. No women were there to debate the phrase, all men are created equal. No women were there when 56 men signed the document one by one. Ooh, pretty interesting. Let's go to the next page. All right, that must be her. Okay, Mary Katharine Goddard. Okay, and we see in the background, we hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. That's written right there behind her. Okay, now she appears to be looking at as probably the finished product, the Declaration of Independence. Okay, let's read the bottom part here, the words that are on the bottom of the page here. But one woman did sign. Her name was Mary Katharine Goddard. Wow, pretty cool, huh? We're going to find out why she's dressed that way. Maybe that's part of her job. Okay, let's go to the next page. All right, so we're looking through some people. Oh, we're looking outside. Okay, looking at some folks who are outside. Let's find out what's written here in this page. Mary Katharine was born in 1738. That's a long time ago. Once again, 1738, and grew up in the shadow of her younger brother, William. Okay. While William went to school, Mary stayed home. Ah, I see. So women were not allowed to go to school. Hmm? Mary stayed home. But her mother, Sarah, introduced her to books and taught her math. Oh, so she was homeschooled, learned at home from her mother, right? And when her father became sick, Mary helped take care of him. Okay, so let's go to the next page. She doesn't look too happy looking outside at her brother being outside, William, but we see her mother teaching her math, right? And she had one of those fountain pens of feather things. Pretty cool. Looks like the bottle of ink. Oh, that's really old school, isn't it? And we see books here on the table. And of course, if it gets really late, we see the candle that they would light, right? Very good. Let's go to the next page. Oh, we have a lot of good writing on here. Let's see what this is about. So we have someone waving, and then it looks like maybe that's her mother talking, perhaps. And we see some books, some other stuff. Let's find out what this is going on here. Mary and her mother learned the printing business in the 1760s when William needed help at his print shop and newspaper. But William, restless and ambitious, soon moved away to pursue another big idea, leaving them in charge. Aha! So it looks like the brother left. The brother was given the business. He left. And looks like that's when Mary and her mother took over, right? Let's finish reading the remaining of these words here. During this time, Mary saw her mother fearlessly running the print shop in a world where women were expected to be only wives and mothers. When her mother died in 1770, Mary stepped up. Most colonial women married and had children, but Mary chose a different life. So she was all about the family business. Now she's the only one in charge, being that her mother passed, her brother was gone, and she was the only one left there to run the print shop, right? Let's go to the next page. All right. So we see her standing there in the print shop place with all the papers. Ooh, looks like they're hanging on a line here. That's how that dries, right? And we see that whole contraption there. And there's some writing there at the bottom said that was Mary. All right, very good. So she's ready to take it all on. She's looking around. She probably has seen it 1,000 times. So I know she's definitely knows what she's doing by this time. Okay, let's go to the next page. All right, so what's on here? Oh, we see letters. And we see something. Looks like some pounding something. Or are they shaking together? Something, well, we'll find out here in a second. Let's go ahead and read to see what's going on. All right, let me turn and get caught up. Okay. Printing in the colonial times was tough work. Nimbly, she organized tiny metal letters into neat rows of words and sentences. A, B, C, D. Under her careful watch, assistants used fat, wool stuffed leather balls like boxing gloves to pound sticky black ink onto the type. So she's pounding here onto the type ink on the letters that are put down, right? Pound, 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 pound the letters to put ink on them. Okay, let's go to the next page. You see that? Okay, go to the next page. Okay. We see some kind of roller thing, and then we see newspaper, and we see Mary there. Okay, let's find out what's happening here. Well, I'm excited. Then she helped imprint the inky words onto sturdy sheets of paper using the big wooden press. Let's read that again. Then she helped imprint the inky words that are wet because we pounded ink on there onto sturdy sheets of paper using the big wooden press. Very cool. All right. Okay. And then we see in the middle here, Mary became an expert printing newspapers and pamphlets, essays and posters, books and advertisements. The colonies were ruled by the British crown, and they were beginning to question whether they wanted their own independent government. Mary published news to keep other colonists informed. A revolution was brewing, right? So she's making these newspapers, pamphlets, and all kinds of stuff, things with written words on it, and sending it out or selling it out to the people, right? About the news, what's going on with the British, right? Let's go to the next page. All right. So what do we see here? We see, so if you're looking in the window, look, she stayed busy. Looking in the window, looks like it's dark outside and she's inside because she has lights on under candles, right? And all kinds of stuff. So let's find out any words on this page. Not really. We just see her. And she's carrying newspapers, right? Let's go to the next page. Aha. So what's going on here? We see different pictures of things that people are doing, written words. Let's find out, read what's written on this page. In 1774, after William relocated to Baltimore to start another print shop, so he went somewhere else to start another print shop and newspaper, he enlisted Mary's help. She agreed. Oh, okay. She agreed and tied on her apron again. Then once more, William took off. Well, he sure doesn't stay very long. What is going on with her brother? William took off, leaving the business in Mary's well-trained, ink-stained hands. Wow. This is the second time he's left and she's had to take over, right? So let's keep reading. As the American Revolution began to heat up, Mary published news on Britain's blockade of Boston Harbor and reported on a movement that encouraged women to make their own textiles rather than rely on British goods. The right to print whatever she wanted wasn't yet guaranteed, but Mary chose information that would support the growing revolutionary cause anyway. In time, she put her name on each paper, Baltimore, in large print, published by M.K. Goddard. I should just use her initials. Ah, very wise, right? Let's see. All right, let's go to the next page. Ooh, look at this. Looks like there's fighting has started because we see the cannons there and people marching and soldiers, and we still see them pounding, and boom, boom. Right? Let's see what the words say on this page. Early one morning in April 1775, Mary received a dispatch with some electrifying news. The king's men and a militia from the colonies had clashed at Lexington and Concord in Massachusetts. The Minutemen, as the colonists were called, have forced the king's men to retreat. While the brave colonists were fighting British soldiers, Mary felt brave too. Ooh, all right. So, all right. Anything else going on here? Lots of stuff, right? Lots of stuff going on. Let's go to the next page. All right. So we see Mary pounding, making more printing stuff. Pound, 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 pound. Spin ink. She's really busy. You see all the images and stuff going on? She must have did that like probably all day and all night. She's working by herself. It doesn't seem to indicate that she had any help. So let's see what else is written here. Hurriedly, she printed a handbill to alert the citizens of Baltimore. Such news could not wait even till later that day when her weekly, oh, she did it weekly Maryland Journal and the Baltimore Advertiser would come out under the headline, "To all friends of American liberty," in caps. She shared the important intelligence in caps just received. Wow, pretty cool. So she ran in there instead of printing it out for the weekly distribution of the newspaper. She did something right away because there was some interesting news that needed to be shared with the people, right? With the public. Let's see what's written at the bottom. Shots rang out. It was now 1775, and the gritty war for independence had begun. Ooh, very cool. Let's go to the next page. All right, so we see Mary probably right there in the middle. She's saying shh to somebody or something. She's getting some help. We see other people in the room. Let's see what's written here. Okay, so nothing on this page, just a lot of pictures. Let's go to the next page. There we go. Oh, we see the newspaper on the line drying. Looks like there's people helping, carrying stuff. Okay, let's see what's written here. Paper was in short supply. Mary bought clean linen and cotton rags, old handkerchiefs, or even worn out petticoats, so a mill could beat the tattered cloth into pulp to make more precious paper. Wow, pretty good idea, right? So that's what the people were doing, bringing the old cotton and things of that nature so it could be beaten down to made into paper. Wow. I was wondering how that worked. Okay. Mary wasn't going to give up. Just talking about independence was dangerous, but Mary regularly published articles from people criticizing the king and calling for a new country, often signed with vague names like a friend to liberty, right? And Mary's name was at the bottom of every issue, published by M.K. Goddard. That was Mary, right? She didn't put Mary, she put M.K. as her initials, okay, to hide the fact that she was a woman, right? All right, let's go to the next page. Ooh, see somebody standing there. They got one of the ponytail things. All right, so that's what the men had in those days, right? A long coat. Let's see what's written here on this page. Now, everyone appreciated Mary's printings about the revolution. A British loyalist, George Somerville, was so angry about something she published that he burst into her office to hurl insults. So basically, he's going to yell at her, probably curse at her and stuff, right? Ugly language and threats. Well, that's what I said. He cursed at her with the ugly language part and threatened her. Ooh, I'm going to do something. Wow, let's continue reading. But Mary refused to back down. The community leaders reprimanded Somerville. The press, they declared, should be carefully protected. In every free country, Mary stood her ground and helped establish rights for everyone. If the colonists achieved independence, their new country would make sure the press was free to print the news, even if it was critical of the government. Ooh, all right. Let's go to the next page and find out what happens here. Look at Mary. She's like, I am not moving. You see, the kennel must be late in the night. He must have been talking to her, right? Late after the work hours or something. But she's not going anywhere. She looks like she's like, I'm not going nowhere. You're not going to scare me. I'm not sure. But let's read what happened on this page. The idea of a free press? That was revolutionary. A defender of a free press? That was Mary. Wow. Okay. Let's see what happened next here. Go to the next page. This is pretty good. All right. So we see some lettering here on here. All right. These words sound familiar. Let's go back to the book here and read what's going on here, starting from the top. In the summer of 1776, an all-male delegation from the 13 colonies gathered in Pennsylvania or Philadelphia to approve a Declaration of Independence, okay, declaring their independence, that they want to be independent of England, right? That's basically what that means. On July 4th, the Continental Congress adopted Thomas Jefferson's words proclaiming that the colonies were now the United States of America. United States. All the states are united together of America, okay? With a right to be free and independent states, right? So let's read what's in the front here in the middle. The 13 United States of America have declared independency in Congress July 4, 1776, a declaration. Wow, pretty cool, huh? Let's read what's at the bottom. The stirring words of the declaration filled more than the whole front page of the Maryland Journal. Very cool. Okay, looks like those all the um, representatives, right? The Continental Congress, written probably all those folks there. Go to the next page. All right, so we see that Mary's working there at the bottom, hanging up all of the pages for the Declaration of Independence. And we see that written on there in different phases of the writing. United States of America, Declaration, and different words. All right. Very good. So she's busy. Pound, 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 crank, 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 whoosh, whoosh, the paper going through and stuff. Yeah. She's staying busy. Let's go to the next page. Ah, look at her. She's there. She has part of her gown or her apron on that has on the ink. So she had to wipe her fingers and stuff, keep her. I bet her fingers stayed probably with ink on it, right? Probably. Okay. I don't think they have disposable gloves, so I'm sure her fingers stayed kind of inky, lots very stained, right? All right, so that's this page. Let's go to the next page. Ah, okay. So lots of people here. Maybe there's some of the helpers, or maybe some of the townspeople. Because it's like some boy there playing a drum. Okay, let's see what's written on this page. The Declaration of Independence itself was a treasonous document, so was publishing it. Ah, so it was treasonous to even print it. Hmm? All right, so let's continue reading. The colonists were fighting a war against a much stronger empire, and there was no guarantee their quest for independence would be successful. All the delegates who signed the Declaration and those who printed it could be hanged if the British ever caught them. Yeah, hanged by a rope, right? Let's continue reading. The delegates were brave. The printers were brave. Mary was brave and revolutionary, right? Just like the name, Revolutionary Mary, right? Go to the next page. Okay, so we see the map of Philadelphia, and then we see Baltimore, see some writing and some lines. Okay, let's go ahead and read the writing part. But the words were not going well for the Minutemen. The war, I should say. But the war was not going well for the Minutemen. In December 1776, the Continental Congress hurriedly moved from Philadelphia to Baltimore, which was much smaller and safer. The delegates carried with them a most precious document, the only copy of the Declaration of Independence signed by members of the Continental Congress. Ah, I did not know that. I don't think I knew that. I'm sure that a lot of people knew that because of the war effort, they left Philadelphia and ran over to Baltimore, Maryland, right? And they carried the document with them. Go to the next page. Okay, we see the signing. We'll see Mary there in the middle, wiping the ink off her fingers, perhaps reviewing it with someone. Okay, now let's read the words on this page. A month later, an emboldened Continental Congress voted to send a signed copy of the Declaration of Independence to each of the 13 states. Wow. So they had to print it and each had to sign it because it's not like they had a whole bunch of copy machines, right? Whoa. Or maybe they do. I don't know. Let's find out. Okay. Okay, let's go to the next page. Well, there we go. We see Mary there. Okay, so let's read the writing. Mary was asked to print the copies. Okay, so they made one and make copies, print the copies, and include the names of all the delegates who signed. She carefully converted the scrawled names into clear type. Wow. She converted the scrawled names into clear type. Wow, that's interesting. Okay, let's go to the next page. All right, so that's her doing that. Took the scrawled names and put it on each of those letters, right? Right, very interesting. This is interesting. Go to the next page. All right. Oh, there we go. We see her pound, 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 pound. Okay, she was really busy now. So she had to make all these copies and stuff, right? So let's read what's on this page. She covered the metal letters with thick black ink made from tree sap and soot. Let me read that again. She covered the metal letters with thick black ink made from tree sap, the sap off the trees, and soot. Right? Wow, that's interesting. Okay, so she's doing that. Let's go to the next page. And see the words on there. Crank, whoosh, crank, whoosh, crank. She's doing a lot of work. Ring, 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 ring. Okay, let's read what's on this page. She pressed the words onto paper made from rags provided by independence-minded citizens. Wow, pretty interesting, huh? You didn't know that. Okay, so we see here the back of, I think, Mary, and we see other people, townspeople walking around. Let's read what's on this page. She produced a special broadside, a large sheet designed for the official records, declaring the state's independence, naming for the first time each signer who made it happen. The unanimous Declaration of the 13 United States of America, it read. Let me read that again. The unanimous Declaration of the 13 United States of America, it read. Let's go to the next page. And there it is. There it is. And so she's out there, or somebody is out there hammering it onto a wall, right? With all the signatures and everything else, all the words and the signatures. All right, let's go to the next page. All right, so we see Mary here. Okay. Looks very happy. Let's look at her words. But there, on the words of the page, I should say. But there was one more name added. But there was one more name added to the declaration. Mary signed her broadside as she had signed all her issues throughout the war. But this time, she didn't use just her initials. She used her whole name. So instead of writing M.K. Goddard, she wrote, the next page, Baltimore, look at the top, Baltimore in Maryland, printed by Mary Katharine Goddard. So she didn't use MK anymore. She used her full name. Wow. How about that? And we'll see all the people pointing to, hey, look at that. All the names. Okay? Let's read what's at the bottom. She wanted to put her mark on this document, even if it would be considered treason. Right? She was willing to pay the price. She wasn't just MK, she was Mary. That was daring. That was revolutionary. That was, who was it? Was it MK? No, Mary Katharine Goddard, right? And there's the last page. Mary Katharine Goddard. All right. Very good, very good. So also, let's look at this page here. There's a little bit of information about Mary Katharine Goddard. And so you can read more in detail. Once again, I got this from the public library. Okay, so you can buy that, get it from, rent it out from there, or check it out from the library. Of course, through a lot of the books that, of course, now we print books big time now, right? Using printing machines and stuff. So now she did it by hand. Wow. Okay, so you read a little bit of information about her. And then more information on this last page about printing and publishing in colonial times. Okay, so a little bit of information about the whole process. So very cool. You like that? Very good information. Please make sure to share that. Hopefully you're reading this with your parents and children, or parents read it with your kids, and just sharing the information. This is a learning time here that's taking place. All right, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe just to pass the word. Let people know about something new that's happening for the 4th of July. I figured that's something a little bit closer to independence by figuring out how we got there, okay? The whole process. How do we print that information to make that declaration, right? So that's what this is about. Once again, the name of the book is Revolutionary Mary. My name is Mr. Lauren with Reading is Fantastical. Take care and have a great day.